I feel so funny because this morning I went through basically just the most incredible session journaling, and I've been paying attention to, I just saw a butterfly, that's crazy, to the language of nature that's communicated to us through animals and also through other plants. And I was thinking, well, I've been very into birds lately. If you watch the birds, if you speak to the birds, if you open yourself to it, listen to their song and just receive what they have to say, they are not only giving you their own medicine, the bird medicine, but they're also communicating to us all these other parts of nature that don't have voices. They're constantly in the trees, constantly riding the wind. Basically, through observing them, through tuning into them, we can also receive the messages that these other elemental beings, such as the trees, are trying to tell us. Or not even trying to tell us. It's like the bird can't help but be the messenger because it's so tied in with that its natural rhythms are synced up with it in a way, and through their behavior, they're not just sharing bird, bird, bird all the time, they're sharing everything they see. Like if you observe a bird, you can listen to its sounds and see the way that it moves and learn something about your environment, what's going on, because they have such a higher view, they can see more. And many of them have such incredible eyesight that they can even see things that are right in front of us without us having taken notice to it. So if we tune into that wisdom, the unfolding of it has unlimited potential. So then I was thinking, okay, birds, trees, wind, that makes sense. What about other beings? What are the other animals trying to teach us? They not only have their own personal medicines, such as, like, for example, snake is transmutation, the act of, like, shedding your skin. It has its own mythology, its own spirit, and its own teachings. There's also, of course, the individual medicines of each animal because they have their own spirit. But what I was trying to get to is that they're also connected to other beings, such as, like, for example, what if a grasshopper carries like the messages of the grass to us? Like if we open ourselves and observe a grasshopper, we can learn about how the grass is doing, how the grass is feeling, the messages that the grass has for us. Or, for example, perhaps the fox is like the messenger of the forest. And it's really super exciting to see it all that way, because then you start to see how it's interconnected. And it's not like one being, such as the tree, only has one messenger, the bird. It's if we widen our perspective to take in the many messages that are given to us through all these different beings, then we begin to unlock all these languages that have been basically ignored by humans for a while now, with exceptions. But, sorry, I'm watching a wasp right now, and I'm like, what does he have to tell me? I'm actually very scared of things that sting. What is fear? Where is this fear coming from? I'll do that another time, but, oh my god. Okay, alright. See, I still have this fear of the ego being perceived a certain way. Like, I definitely would have done that if I wasn't on camera, but because I was on camera, it made me say it differently than how I was feeling it because of the observer effect. But anyway, so, okay, this this is funny. This is quite raw. Yeah, so I was looking at the meaning of my name, which is something that I've been doing for a while now. Not just my first name, but my entire name, and what it means to carry this name, to have been born into this name. And many people believe that the name you have was actually chosen by you before your birth. It's not so much your parents, it was more like your spirit was telling your parents what to name you. So this name, Tori, it's not short for Victoria, it's just Tori. In Japanese, apparently, Tori means bird, and I hadn't felt a kinship with the birds until very recently. This incredible thing happened when I was sending out this epic prayer on our road trip from Taos to Austin, right before we moved here to Austin. And I was asking Spirit to bring me feathers or wings or some kind of bird talisman for cleansing and clearing and smudging and connecting to that world. And I had never seen a dead bird on the side of the road before, but within the next hour, there was a wing just flapping on the side of the highway, getting my attention, a bird that had been hit. And I kind of cocked my head and said, like, really? And I turned down the music to ask Dylan, my partner who was with me, what I should do, if I should turn around. And before I even got the words out to ask him, I looked at the clock, and it was 4:44, which many of you know is a sign of synchronicity, and what I take to be as a sign of the angels, a sign of affirmation, a sign of you're on the right track. So I just laughed, and I was like, okay, I guess it's time to turn around. 4:44 sounds about right. So I turned around, and we pulled over to the side of the road, and the animal, the bird, it was a roadrunner. And roadrunner is a medicine that's been with me for a few weeks, since a couple weeks earlier from that occasion where I was in Palm Desert. It was a really activated week where I was creating and crafting a lot, where a roadrunner just came right up to this giant window right next to me and stood in the shade, like 5 feet away from me, and just breathed. And I was watching its body move with its breath. I was watching its eyes, which, God, they're just so powerful. They're like piercing eyes, and the eyes were rimmed with red feathers. And I looked at the talons of this roadrunner and just remembered that this is the descendant of dinosaurs, that dinosaurs actually evolved into birds. And so I'm looking at this small feathered dinosaur that kind of has the build of a raptor in a way, like standing on its hind legs, and its wings are there instead of its arms, and it was really powerful. So anyway, I just laughed when I saw this roadrunner on the side of the road, and just bowed down in like the most intense bliss and gratitude and like almost disbelief. But I've come to believe that these synchronicities are going to happen more and more, and it's not so much like an act of expectancy as it is an act of understanding that we are powerful beings, and we do have the gift to be able to manifest or bring into our lives what we wish to with intention. So that was amazing. So we got back into the car, and soon after that, we saw another bird on the side of the road. And we had thought, oh, it's probably going to be, like a pigeon or something. That was our thought also with the roadrunners, like, let's not get too excited. So we pulled over to the side of the road, and we found the most gorgeous, gorgeous bird. A bird that is also really potent medicine for a lot of people that are seers and mystics and shamans. And it was such an incredible affirmation. This bird was also waving its arm at us on the side of the road. It was an amazing affirmation toward the act of prayer, the act of just asking. Like, I wasn't even saying I'm manifesting a bird. It was like, you can manifest through the act of prayer, but through the act of prayer being more open-ended than a specific manifestation of something, then you're open to receiving it in so many more ways, at least I feel in this moment. So anyway, gosh, and then working with those birds also taught me so much. It was incredibly humbling. It affected me on levels of moving from possession to non-attachment, consciousness of scarcity to a consciousness of abundance and trust and allowance. And I can do a different video on that another time, but this is getting quite long. So for those of you that stuck around this whole time, thank you. Thank you. This is my first video, and I'm hoping to make more of them. Hopefully the future ones will be a little shorter and more concise. So thank you so much for watching and listening, and have a very incredibly blessed day. I love you.